Hey guys, it's Drac, and today's video is going to be on this. This is an OzNerfNerd kit. It is the Deluxe Longshot kit that he makes. Has everything that you need inside to make just a killer Longshot. Now, I've been using HobbyMods special aluminum reinforcements for my battle rifle style internals forever, so that is very familiar to me. And then inside here we have some instructions about various things. These, I think, are all the instructions for the kits that he sent me, so I won't fool with that right now. This will serve as not only an installation guide, but also a review of the performance that this kit delivers. So, right off the bat, we have a replacement O-ring. We have what appears to be an entirely new way of formulating the dead space removal in the back end, which is very exciting. I think that that's cool. Then we have some fittings, some plunger padding, and then a new reinforcement piece for the back plate, which is, I'm sure, where these come into play. But I will go ahead and start installing this. I have a very special Longshot that I'll be installing this into, which will have its own build video separate from this, but I'm going to go ahead and get these installed. I think that it should be really, really nice and very easy if any of his other kits are to be trusted. This will be a very simple install. So now is a good time to make an intermediate step. There are some pieces, the little discs go inside this. This is the back reinforcement piece of the plunger, so this comes out like this. HobbyMods describes it as the Mickey Mouse head piece, and I think that that's pretty accurate in all honesty. I'm going to go ahead and sand both this side and this side, and then I'm going to use a two-part epoxy to stick this onto here, and then I'm going to set that with a clamp. It'll take about a day or so from my brand of epoxy to fully cure, and then this shows that I've already come in, and I haven't sanded afterwards, but I have attached the aluminum or aluminium reinforcement plates also using that same epoxy. So this bolt sled should be good to go. This is coming very, very nicely, and then all I have to do is the rest of the stuff to the plunger. I'll show where the rest of those pieces go shortly. So a lot has happened since the last segment. Bolt sled totally ready to go. This piece has been two-part epoxied after being sanded and prepped, so that slides on here. Now we're going to take this. You can see that the OzNerfNerd spring is much tougher than the original spring, so we're going to go ahead and slide that home. Now, some fun stuff happened here, and it still hasn't been two-part epoxied back together. First off, dart post is gone. Second off, this is a 3D printed dead space remover. For those of you that are familiar with how I do my battle rifle internals, it is a chore. I grease up 17-30 seconds brass, slide it in, fill the dead space with hot glue. This gives this padded plunger head something to hit into and completely removes all the dead space while giving you a straight shot through, which is why I did it that way in the first place. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that back in. Now we have a finished breech. Of course, this is going to need to be two-part epoxied back in as well, but the way that he does it with the link that gives you just enough of a tab here and also completely bypasses the air release hole, so you don't even need to wrap that at this point. I'm going to go ahead and show the final piece here. This is a 3D printed guide. It keeps his extra spring here aligned and gives it a plate that's got a slight taper there to rest up against. So now it also has just enough space and is perfectly aligned for, well, it would be perfectly aligned if I had put it on correctly. Let me twist it just a smidge. Try and get it lined up with these hexagons. Still no. Okay. Well, you understand what I'm getting at here, where this will eventually be twisted in such a way that it fits this and these line up perfectly. I'm still off by a millimeter, and I don't want to waste any more time on camera doing that, but that covers these internals. I'm going to go ahead and lay them into the special Longshot I've prepped after I grease this up with the special OzNerfNerd brand Super Lube. The only complicated part left of this is once I have the breech together, he includes these tiny machine screws with hex bits, and so instead of using the regular screws to slide into here, we will be going all the way through and fastening these from this direction. Much more secure way of doing that. One last look at these internals. Sadly, most of the gear is internal, so there's not too much special to see here, but I guess some of the aluminum's peeking through, and you can see how we sanded down the epoxy after it cured. So this is the final segment for the HobbyMods Longshot Deluxe kit, and it's just a powerhouse of a kit. I think that speaks for itself. It's hitting very, very hard. You can, in fact, dry fire this blaster or I guess I had a dart left, but here, let me get to the end of this magazine. There you go. You can dry fire it, and the rubber padding prevents it from getting too terribly damaged. But the spring inside is definitely Aussie spec. It's got quite the prime. I decided to keep it sniper style. I really liked the bolt action in the Longshot, and I've been doing pump grips for so long that I thought it would be fun to go back to basics, and it is fun. I really enjoy that, so I recommend running the kit with that just for giggles, but would work equally well with a pump grip, if not better, as that would evenly distribute the force for sure. But that is my review of this kit, as well as an install kind of loose guide. He also has a guide which is very effective. I guess you guys get a sneak peek of Sub-Zero, but you'll see more of him later on. All in all, I couldn't recommend this kit higher, but there is a caveat. This is not a beginner's level kit. There's a lot of stuff going on. You need to know how to use two-part epoxy. You need to be well aware of how to reinforce a bolt sled using these pieces. And I'm not saying that you can't do it as a first mod, but I would recommend completing another mod before attempting this one. The Longshot is an excellent springer, which is obviously the best platform, and then in addition to that, it has just massive plunger volume, but it's still a complicated system to work with. It's using old school in-strike internals that you have to readapt for elites, and doing all of this retorques it so that it works flawlessly for them, but there's a lot of stuff going on. You might need pipe cutters, you need to know exactly where to put all of these pieces, and then you also need the strength to prime this kit because it's a hefty Aussie spec spring, as I said before. But that's my review of the kit. Couldn't be happier with it. Think that it's a solid product. If you'd like to pick one up to tinker with on your own and bring a Longshot back to life like this one, then feel free to check out the link to his web store down below. I don't get any kickbacks for that. I just like sending people to the right place. Thanks for watching.